Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a special edition of the GameReplays.org Heroes of Newerth cast. Today we do have the GosuGamers Losers Bracket finals here between both SK Gaming and Evil Geniuses. Today, these are going to be some top-notch games, ladies and gentlemen, with so much money on the line. Both teams really wanted, to get to that finals, and we'll get a little bit about that coming up. But today, I am the Four Court Jester, and joining me for some competitive insight will be Bdiz from Team SK, and he is playing in these games, so don't be too fooled. It's the same one of the guy. And also, we do have Fnatic MSI Nova here with me. Gentlemen, how are you doing this morning?
I'm doing good.
Doing great, as usual. It's afternoon here, by the way, and I believe these games will be real fun to cast.
Well, it's 10 a.m. here over in cold Canada, but we've had so much hype about these guys, and what GosuGamers did it live, and the World Cup is just such a big event. It's the biggest tournament we got right now for Heroes of Newerth, so I can really imagine that a lot of people are looking forward to this, as well as a lot of people quite satisfied, hopefully, with how it all played out. So, Bdiz, just a little bit about the games. I know we do have 3 games to go through, but these were not short games whatsoever, was it?
No, the shortest game was actually game 1, which is about 50 minutes long. There was an 80-minute second game that was just grueling to go through. It was such a close back and forth game, and it really did take forever to finish. And then the third game was really long as well. So the entire series, it took us from around 12:30 a.m. Eastern until 5:30 a.m. to finish.
Yikes, 5 hours of just concentrating on these 3 games. You guys must have quite the fortitude to get through quite the grueling experience like that.
Yeah, it wasn't as bad as, say, playing in a LAN, something like DreamHack, which we haven't done yet as a team, but it was still a really grueling experience.
Indeed. Well, Nova here, you are from Fnatic MSI, so you will be kind of getting a preview into the previous match before whoever won is going to be going on to face you guys there in the grand finals. Is that not correct?
Yeah, sure. I will analyze everything and try to ask sneaky questions, so I know exactly what's coming up in the matches and the finals.
Great. Well, that is nothing less than expectant from you guys at this point. So I think we're on the last ban right now. 1, 2, 3. Oh, right. We do have 8 bans now simply because of HoN 2.0. So Bdiz, can you go over a little bit about why SK banned who they did ban?
Before we get into that, I'd like to go over this last ban that's coming up right now.
Go for it.
Since we just banned Hellbringer. We were actually discussing it for the entire time that we spent, about 42 seconds or so, going between Sandwraith and Hellbringer. We know that EG's been practicing a Sandwraith strat, and we don't really like to play against that hero because of his ability to just straight up take over games. We're more adept with playing against the Hellbringer. So half of us wanted to ban Sandwraith, half of us wanted to ban Hellbringer, and we ended up going with Hellbringer. But the other bans were Thunderbringer, Bombardier, and Pharaoh, and that's because Thunderbringer is extremely powerful with spell shards. Bombardier is generally considered to be an overpowered hero. On top of that, Shu is a great Bombardier player, and Dodo has an amazing Pharaoh, so that's why we banned those 4 heroes.
All right, it's always great to get into the insight of why people do what they do. But thank you for covering those side. Nova, can you go over a little bit about what the Hellborn banned here?
I'm looking at it right now. I'm quite surprised that EG banned Pebbles right away. Actually, wait, they started with... No, and that was the other game. They banned Slither, Dampier, Dr. Repulsor. And yes, their first ban was Pebbles, because they actually known themselves for playing Pebbles, so I didn't really know why they would ban the hero. Then they banned Dampier because, for all I know, SK has a very strong Dampier player, although it's a very new hero. Bdiz, which one is it of you?
Fogged is actually the one that has been playing a lot of Dampier in matchmaking. He's actually queued with EG recently before the match and played Dampier with them. So they know for sure that he has a really strong Dampier, and they didn't want to let him have it.
So yeah, pretty much this is the reason for this ban. Then they banned Dr. Repulsor, known hero to take over games, to be a very strong solo laner, and yeah, that were the bans for EG. So nothing out of ordinary there.
It's funny that you mentioned that Fogs did do a queue up with EG just before that, because it's funny, we found that game on a replay system. We just casted it just the other day, so I know exactly what you mean. He just absolutely destroyed whoever they were facing with that Dampier. So that really makes a lot of sense in terms of banning. It was also a very impressive game on his behalf. But no Dampier this game. Thank you, gentlemen, for the bans. We do have some of the picks coming out for SK. We do have, at least for now, Tralfamador. Is that how I say it? Tralfamador?
Tralfamador, something like that.
Okay.
No one really knows.
Trelfie. How about we call him Trelfie? Yeah. We do have Flint Beastwood, though, picked up for you guys, as well as Myrmidon and Behemoth, or at least Behemoth is shadow picked. Now, Myrmidon is one of those more recently released heroes, Flint just before that, but I mean, for a Myrmidon, what do you guys like to play him as? Support or more of one of those carries, or just like pure ganking?
We typically play Myrmidon as the second support. We go with like the hard support as a guy that's generally going to be the ward bitch for the game, not going to have much in terms of items, but he's going to have wards. We like to play him as secondary support. I like building a BKB into a Daemonic Breastplate, and even if you don't finish the Daemonic, just a Warp Cleft on top of the BKB gives you insane amounts of damage with your ultimate popped, so you can essentially give one of their squishier heroes during your BKB.
Yeah, fun times. I do see a Forsaken Archer coming out in there as well, but I do see that's a Ninja Turtle Bubbles, right? On Sabusco over there, Nova. That is the new skin for him, right?
Yes, that's a new skin for him.
I've never seen him played before, so I just had to make sure. But yeah, okay, so we do got Bubbles, we do have Voodoo Jester out here, and Andromeda. So right off the bat, you have a good solo laner on Team EG, Bubbles, and then two of the more well-known supports being played there. So, I mean, for picking phases, do you really want to nab the support first, or would you rather get the carries first there, Nova?
That totally depends. In this case, it's a beautiful example. It makes sense to get the two supporters first, because if EG knows, and apparently they did know, that SK is not running or did not run Sandwrath strategies themselves before, they want to surprise pick Sandwrath as last. And when you want to surprise pick a carrier as last hero, then you have to pick the supporters first and the solo lanes, obviously. Unfortunately for them, they have SK still has the last pick, so they could like try to counter pick Sandwrath if they didn't pick block themselves before, which they didn't, because they have Flint and Forsaken who potentially both can solo, so they could counter pick Sandwrath now for the tri-lane. But that's the reason why they picked the supports first.
Oh, thanks Dodo and Yoda for that kind of spam. We do have now completed teams here. EG will be going with that Sandwraith and Bubbles, two supports of the Voodoo Jester and Andromeda, and then I can only assume that we're going to be having Wretched Hag there in the mid, and Chew on a Wretched Hag. That is just warming up to be really good gameplay right there. Let's just finish off the SK gameplay right now. A little bit of swapping going on, but Forsaken Archer, Behemoth to go with Chipper. Is Angry Tessie known for his Chipper, Bdiz?
Tessie's played a lot of Chipper since he's been released, and he generally does fairly well on Chipper. It's nothing as infamous as, say, the Choose Chipper, but he still does have a pretty strong Chipper.
Okay.
And to just go over picks real quick for us.
Sure.
We actually had a really bad misdraft here, where at the 3-4 picks for us, we took Forsaken Archer and Behemoth. We were actually running out of time and debating between going Forsaken Archer now or picking up Wretched Hag. We already know that they like to run the Wretched Hag and Bubbles combo as their two solos because they did it against us in the winter bracket semifinals, and they've done it against us in matchmaking numerous times. And we wanted to break that combo up, plus we felt Hag fit really well into our lineup. And we kind of panicked there as we were running out of time and went with Forsaken Archer instead.
That sounds like a little bit of quite the panic there. I mean, especially at these high-end games, you really want to have your line out down pat. But as I said, it's always interesting to see why people do what they do. So, as a warning, we do apparently have a lot of pauses in this game. So I'm going to be relying here upon Bdiz. Somebody's typing away very furiously there. But we are going to relying on Bdiz here to notify us of some of the more longer pauses. We're just going to try to skip ahead for you folks there on that, just as a quick warning. So don't be too surprised if we try to resync up a few times during this cast. As we did say, there's a lot of gameplay footage to get through here. And we only want to try to focus on the better parts here. So for your team, I mean, as we were just talking a little bit about Chipper, I did notice Cardinal here is playing on Behemoth. Wasn't he in an accident just a little bit ago? He's all recovered from that now?
He wasn't in an accident. He messed his shoulder up playing sports, and he had shoulder surgery. Since then, that was back in December. He's recovered since then, and his shoulder's completely fine now.
Well, I only called it an accident because I assume he didn't do it on purpose.
Oh, yeah. I thought you meant accident like he was in a car accident or something.
Wow.
That's my bad.
Pain was delivered, and I do remember him telling me something about. I saw all the jokes about him being in a wheelchair and all that, and calling him
a cripple.
Yeah, a cripple, one-hand player, all that fun stuff. This pause isn't going to go on too much longer, is it?
No, this one was a short one. Some of the longer ones keep coming. This one was because I have a woman's bladder and I had to go take a leak, so I had to take care of that real quick.
Fun enough. All right, so. We are now going to be starting up into this game. Now, as we were talking a little bit here about earlier, Nova was doing a little bit here on the analysis of the Hellborn, but, I mean, I'm pretty sure the lanes are going to be pretty cut and clean here, right, Nova?
Yeah, of course. You have the obvious two solo lanes. In Dota, you would see sometimes Sandref solo middle, very rarely, but happens, but of course not here and not in this meta game anymore. So, lanes are clear. As for Legion, if I should talk for them as well, with the Chipper pick as last, the lanes are clear as well. Chipper can't be played in the tri-lane, so the only thing that is mixed up for both teams, or can be mixed up, is who goes middle and who goes on the other solo lane.
I do see both the tri-lanes are going into this top lane. Now, usually, doesn't the Legion tri-lane bottom, Bdiz?
It really depends on the lineups. They went with a melee carry, and we have a really heavy kill potential in our tri-lane, with a potential for 4 stuns, so we know they're tri-laning top to get their Sandwraith farm, so we also tri-lane top against it. Instead of essentially trading farm and having an attempt at our FA out carrying their Sandwraith. Also, we have a Flint Beastwood, so we have another hard carry as a side lane solo. We know he can beat Bubbles 1 vs 1, but we don't want to put him versus tri-lane.
Well, yeah, when you do put a solo against a tri-lane, you're obviously screwing over the solo. So I can kind of understand that mentality. So down south, we will have who fogged here on Beastwood going up against Bubbles on Sabuska on Bubbles. Almost said Bubbles on Sabuska. That would be quite the interesting turn. So they both have good range potential down in the bottom lane. Both are fairly decent solo laners, but I can't help but think that the survivability of Bubbles with that shell and the movement of his shell surf is probably going to be outclassing Fog down south. What do you think here, Nova?
No.
Really? Okay.
No. The reason for that is that Flint has a superior lane presence at the moment due to his flare. It's overpowered in my opinion, because if you leave the AoE, you still get damage for the full. And Bubbles isn't really having tons of HP, etc. So if Fog does play correctly, and if I remember correctly he did play very well, then you should totally dominate the Bubbles. Of course, Bubbles has an escapability, but that should only help him from not dying, and he will still lose a lot of creep kills, etc.
Alright, thank you very much for that. I do have a question here from IRC for you, Bdiz. Weedfield level 1, why?
Weedfield's the AoE spell. In case you do get into a level 1 fight, it's a lot better to land that Plus, it's a guaranteed stun, whereas Magikarp isn't a guaranteed stun. But if you landed on more than one hero, you're probably going to end up winning that fight.
Okay, so that is the mentality you guys went through. Now, as you did say, you do have almost a triple stun here. I mean, the Forsaken Archer, it's not really a stun, more of an immobilize, but at the same time, it's going to do what you need it to do. It'll keep the hero stationary for you. So, I mean, between Crippling Volley, Weedfield, and Fisher, you guys were really stacking this tri-lane, weren't you?
Yeah, we went with a really aggressive tri-lane. We knew that we weren't going to be able to kill Sandwraith because he could Desert's Curse over Behemoth's Fissure. But we were just aiming to pick off his supports and limit Sandwraith's farm. You can also see about trying to limit Sandwraith's farm by blocking both of the creep poles instead of warding for Rune Vision.
You okay there, Nova?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Next time I mute myself.
Alright, sounds good. Oh, we have another pause coming out. This one long or short?
This was a fairly long pause, so we're probably going to want to skip through it.
Alright, let's see if I can fast forward a little bit and find when it's done. Oh wow, the music sounds so weird at 4 times speed. It's almost like very chime, high caliber kind of music. Alright, so as we do find this next spot here, ladies and gentlemen, so the mid lane, Nova, we do have Chu on the chipper against Wretched Hag. Who's being played? Sorry, Chu's on the Wretched Hag. Sorry, Testy's on the chipper. For that kind of matchup, what do we? Who do you think has the advantage there?
That's a beautiful matchup actually, because it involves a lot of dancing around the creeps. Hag needs to avoid as many rockets as possible and avoid the Harris, whereas both have good last-hitting abilities, but Chipper has slightly more damage. You see both of them went for pure damage items and a little bit of regen. Both have 2, what's it called? Mark of the Novice. And so it's just a last hit battle, but not so much as with 2 carries facing each other, but a lot of dancing involved, as I said, because both seem to, or seek to damage each other with spells and need to avoid this at the same time.
Alright, thank you very much for that, Nova. Okay, so at 8 times speed, I did let it go for about 30 seconds, so feel free to catch up now, guys. Yoda does reconnect at one point, and then they do the unpause, so just bring yourselves up to the 1 for the unpause.
I'm there.
Ooh, there's a Seavar. Ooh, let me check this out.
I'm ready to go.
Alright, so streamers, SC, are you good to go there, dude? Just let me know in IRC or Skype and we'll resume. Apparently there's a way to auto-skip pauses. Did you guys know about that?
No, I did not.
Ooh.
That sounds awesome.
I'm good to go.
Okay, so if we're all good to go, then alright, so 3, 2, 1, hit play. And we're back to action, hopefully. Alright, so we do have Yoda now reconnected. And we will now be resuming this. So we are going to try to skip as many pauses as possible here, ladies and gentlemen. Next game, apparently there's a mod that can auto-skip. I'm going to look into that for us because we do have a lot of pauses to go through. So the top lane here, I mean, we're 3 minutes in. 0-0, and the top lane is just kind of going back and forth. Mid lane, I do see it's diverged a little bit. Chipper is off rune hunting, I suppose, as well as Wretched Hag. Now, in terms of wards here at Nova, since I'm probably going to ask you most of the ward questions, we do have a lot. In fact, we have all the wards up in the top quadrant of the map this game.
Actually, you could ask both of us, because Bdiz had most of the wards, if not every. So, yeah, he already explained he blocked both of the camps, obvious reasons. They don't want to let Sandrith get any advantage out of the pools. May it be that she gets a few free last hits at the tower of the creeps, or some of the neutrals themselves even. As for EG, one rune shows the one ward shows the rune, top rune. It's actually quite on the border, but it still shows the rune. And the other ward is just a typical lane ward there, which shows the lane, so they see if somebody TPs in, Chipper especially, and they seek to do an ambush.
Oh man, Yoda disconnected yet again. Fun times.
Yep, another pause coming up. Another thing I'd like to note is, unfortunately, Yoda's internet wasn't doing too good, and he did have a lot of latency issues during the match, which is very unfortunate.
All right, once the vote has passed here, folks, just take a quick pause. I've been told that if we type auto skip pauses into our console, that should work. So I'm going to try that right now. But Nova, Bdiz, I mean, you guys, have you guys know each other outside of gaming at all? Have you ever run into each other at all?
No.
No?
Doesn't work for me. Anyways, no. First time I talked a bit more with this cute Bdiz was today, actually.
Oh, so you guys just met on voice like today? Hmm?
Yeah.
Ah.
Yep.
Okay. Alright, so we do have a pause coming up. I just rewinded a little bit. So we're going to pause. I'm going to see if the auto skip thing works. 3, 2, 1. It worked! Ah, that's amazing. Okay. So to do this, I'm just going to send you guys on Skype. Control F8. Replay auto skip. True. Set that up, and then we will resume the cast from that. So, good props there to AM3 there on IRC, telling us a little bit about how to auto-skip pauses in the future. That is immensely useful to me.
You wrote it on Skype?
No, I threw it to you guys in Skype. I was informed through IRC. We are sitting at 15 minutes, 39 seconds replay time. So if you guys would like to do the variable and sync up to that, we will resume past that.
Real quick, I actually don't see where you posted it in Skype. If you could do it
No,
again.
you didn't post it to
I
us.
posted it to the wrong person. He must be very confused now. Alright, so you do Control F8, type that, and then type that. So basically we're going to set a variable here to true. Sorry for a little bit of delay here for those at home, but we do not want to really go through all these pauses, and we will get started upon this momentarily. So I'm at 15:39 in the replay.
Yep.
Okay, I'm good to go.
And SE, you're good to go as well?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we're going to do a 3, 2, 1 play. So 3, 2, 1 play. And we will have no more pauses this entire game. That is absolutely wonderful. Gotta love that the variable works. So what's happening here in the mid here, Bdiz?
Testy just got ganked by Andromeda plus Chu, who's obviously against him in mid. We didn't have ward vision, or rune vision rather, the top rune due to how he warded. So they took advantage of that and ganked him. Get the early bloodlust. And at the same time, up at top, we had vision of where their Voodoo Jester was sitting. We know their Andromeda's not there, so we go for a counter kill on Voodoo Jester. I landed Magic Harp into Wheatfield, plus a Behemoth Fissure and a Forsaken Archer Volley, plus a few auto attacks, enough to take him down.
Yeah, so a little bit of a revenge kill there, 1-1. I do notice Andromeda's back up top with those images. He just did a little bit of a bravery dive there, as we do have Wretched Hague come back now. Wretched Hague is 6 now, with a little bit of an advantage over Testy, who's only 5. And it does look like Bloodchalice just completed there on the Wretched Hague. Oh, that was not a good idea, going up against 3 rockets from Testy into the face. She's going to have to play a little bit more defensive from here. So everything kind of just resumes back to normal. I'm sitting here at about 5 minutes, 55 seconds. We're still all good for the sync?
Yes.
Yep.
All right. And so, I mean, with that Bloodlust kill on Testy, I mean, always trying to keep down the solo laner is basically the aim of the game, because then your solo laner theoretically gets a little bit more buff on that. So was he, was he angry? I mean, was angry Testy angry that we didn't see that coming?
He was a little upset that we didn't have a missing call. There's actually action up top right now.
Yeah, it does look like you're going to get hit pretty hard here. Wretched Hague coming up there with the ultimate, going to be taking out Myrmidon. It's going to say weird if I say taking out you. So taking out Myrmidon. And again, like another non-miss call, or they were just too aggressive? You guys didn't respond? Or I mean, how did that happen?
It was more or less missed calls. We've been playing around a little bit lately with double warding the poles instead of warding a rune. and the communication with doing this type of warding strategy just isn't there yet. So we had one missed call top, he had a missed call mid, where the only way he would have killed us there really was a haste rune. And it just happened to be a haste.
Gotta love it when the stars align for that. I do see that Voodoo Jester goes down here to that triple combo of yours, but down south, turtle soup is being served for Flint Beastwood. Did you catch any of that, Nova?
Yep, I did, and it's pretty much exactly as I said. Although BK did a miss move there. Sorry, Sebuska did a miss move there. He went into damaging with a shell serve, and he was very low life, so Flint just said, "Oh, you want to get killed? Cool, I have some extra gold," and then he just put the flare on him. And as I said before, when you leave the flare AoE, you still get damaged, and that's what killed him there. Plus one more auto attack, and that's already it.
All right, fair enough. So it looks like Turtle will not be beating the Flint Beastwood today. So I will have to eat my words, sir. Thank you for showing me the light.
Oh man, sometimes Bubbles might win by superior play, but as long as Flint doesn't get nerfed on the flare, I think he usually should win this.
He hasn't been touched in a little while. I know he went through a whole stream of nerfs, but it does look like Andromeda did not get the stun from Magikarp, but the Weed Field's going to allow that to go down. He got off an Aurora, but it's just not going to save his life. And I do see mid here, this Wretched Hague, he's going in behind for a kill on Fogged. Bdiz?
Yeah, Chu basically had complete and total rune control for every single rune up to this point, and then he's using another haste rune to be aggressive. Now that Bubbles is level 6.
Yeah, Bubbles is going to come in here to complete the pincer. I don't think he's going to get out of that. No, the tower is going to be contributing to his death, but quite the tower dive there by Chu. He's going to pick up Fogged. I mean, I don't know. I think Bubbles is a little too aggressive there. I mean, he did end up dying as a result 2-on-1, but they did do a tower dive. I mean, it's only 9 minutes in. People are still at 5, 6, 7 range. But a little bit too aggressive. What do you think there, Nova? Good dive?
No, he just missed the shell serve that sealed the deal. That's all that happened there. Like, they could have survived both, and he even could have let Hag just finish him alone and take a bit more damage, but Hag had the haste rune. She could have escaped anyways, and I don't know. Maybe he was a bit nervous or something. He's not a bad player, so I doubt it would happen to him normally.
Okay, fair enough. But we do have Flint now coming back at bottom. Who just died in the mid? It was Andromeda. What was Andromeda doing in the mid there, Bdiz?
Andromeda was going to plant a lane ward. I had bought a ward earlier and given it to Testy for him to plant from himself mid, which you can see near our ancients.
Yep.
We saw Andromeda creeping up as I was heading towards mid to plant a lane ward for Testy to protect him. And we just turned it around and killed Andromeda before he could gank Testy.
And now does it look like there's a little bit of fight here for this bottom ward between Testy and Hague right now. A little bit of dancing. I did see the blades go down, but I don't think it's looking too good right now for Chipper. Focus buffer coming out, and Hague's actually going to back off for a little bit. What's with that?
Hag doesn't have mana.
Yeah.
Hag doesn't have mana, and she saw that he bubbled the region rune. And actually, he was very scared, of course, that she might let him get another hit on him and kill him. So he popped the region rune a little bit too early while he still had the DOT on him. But in general, Hag wouldn't have had the mana to kill him and finish him off. So if he pops the region, he gets mana very quickly, and then he has 3 more bottle charges, and he could just turn and totally annihilate her.
All right, so there you go. Good insight from both players as they both did back off. No deaths there in the mid, and does look like Wretched Hague is going to come back to the mid via a homecoming stone, but he's just going to get straight into a tar. He did get 1 rocket. The other 2 did miss. It does not look like the saw blades are going to be doing maximum damage either, but focus buffer against a Wretched Hague is definitely quite the advantage there, but just not going to be saving him from that kill mid. Chew playing very aggressive in this mid, but that's another death there for Angry Testy, and another death for Bubbles down south. So let's go over the Angry Testy first there, Bdiz, and then did you see Bubbles at all there down south, Nova?
Yeah, pretty much the same thing as before.
Okay. But, okay, so Chipper in the mid, he just basically walked right into the lane and died. It does look like, again, Voodoo Jester going down as well. The combo of the 3 top heroes is coming out quite nice, isn't it, Bdiz?
Yeah, this is something that like we knew going into it that we were going to be able to kill the supports, and that's why we played the lane instead of ever trying to kill Samurai because we knew we wouldn't be able to with Desert's Curse going over Fissure. We already said we just went for the supports whenever we had a good opportunity, and we knew that any time I landed a weed field, we had a for sure kill.
Now, if you land a weed field on the Sand Wraith, and then you land a crippling volley, and then the Fissure, could he just Desert's Curse out of like the weed field and just walk away clean?
He can't Desert's Curse out of the weed field or the crippling volley, but if we go on Sandwraith and fail to kill and we overcommit, there's the potential for them to get a cross kill with their support's abilities. Whereas if we go on the Voodoo Jester or the Andromeda, they don't really have any kind of a chance to get a cross kill. And even though we didn't go on the Sandwraith, he didn't get the greatest farm. As if you look at the scoreboard, at 13 minutes just about, RFA has twice the CS.
Yeah, I'm just looking. 54 kills for the Forsaken Archer, whereas only B-Kid has 25. So yeah, twice indeed. Another thing I guess to mention is that Sandwraith is 1,000 hit points, whereas his two supports are sitting in and around the 600 range. So I mean, they're definitely a little bit of a squishier target. I do see some counter warding going on here. Nova, you're known for your big warding. Counter warding coming out at 13 minutes. Right now, it does look like they've robbed all the top site here for SK.
No, actually SK was killing their ward first. I believe Bdiz, I'm just gonna ask you, you probably watched the replays of EG very closely and saw that they are setting the wards on almost always the same positions, right?
Yeah, they actually had to watch replays for both their supports. Both Yoda and Fuji Apples. Yoda has a tendency to plant the ward directly in the lane, so that was easy to counter. Right before I countered that, though, Dodo countered my ward that was both blocking the pole and giving us vision of that area just to the right in the fog.
Well,
a huge team fight here, though.
Yeah, talking about wards, it's just everything's going down right on top of them. We do have 3 deaths now for SK from that team fight, and 0 here for Evil Geniuses. Does look like that Flint Beastwood is going to go down to make yet another death. We did Blue buy back?
Yeah, he bought back. And that's so unfortunate for him because Hag just loaded up their mana, and she will be able to just go back and kill him a second time. So he died, fought back, and died again. That's just his entire advantage he had before, whereas Bubbles goes down to a pretty good combo there. All the advantage he had due to his creep kills just vanished, for instance, suddenly.
Oh. Is that your cell phone?
Not my cell phone.
Yeah, I did see that, Bdiz, you came back to the tower, you tried to land that weed field, just did not seem to want to work whatsoever. Angry Testy is just trying to take some rage out here on Chu in the mid. Chu's going to back right off, but very unfortunate team fight up there for SK. Was that just, blowing your load too quickly? Like, it's trying to single out when you didn't know all 5 of them were there, or what happened there, dude?
That was bad play by us, being over-aggressive when they had heroes off the map, and good capitalization on our mistakes by EG. It was just a phenomenal team fight by them, and they came out with a 6-for-1 trade, I believe, including Charles' buyback. Actually, no, I think Testy might have lived. I'm not actually sure about that.
Yeah, we could go back over it, but we'll just say we're tied up 9-9.
No, he survived. He survived.
Alright, so it was, 5-for-1 trade, where the only one we killed was Sebusk at the very end.
Oh, what's going on down south? It does look like Wretched Hag going to get double teamed. How did you get down there so quick? I can only assume a homecoming stone. But what happened there? Did anyone catch the bottom there, Nova?
No, I didn't catch it, but I guess there was a pretty good prediction by SK and by you, since they knew that Hag, with that, we have a swap top, swap on FA, but I'm not sure if something... FA is walking to the side, so the stun won't bounce back to Behemoth, but that will be not enough. The auto takes and the Desert Curse will just be enough to take Behemoth down. You have a counter kill on Andromeda, and now you're turning again. 2 heroes forward, and that is the end of Voodoo Jester. And that was a quick death. Anyways, very good prediction. FA is pretty overextending herself here, and yeah, should die now. I guess. 2 bubbles. He's dying. Now you have 2 versus 2, but nothing more should happen there. Hack's actually coming in as well, but I don't think... Will she? She will, okay.
Wow, she is definitely overextending a little bit. Going to grab a few auto attacks there on Chipper. Now she's just going to finally back up. Is she going to swing back around for yet another go? No, okay, she's just going to go back mid.
Oh. So yeah, to finally finish what I wanted to say before, it was a very good prediction for SK. They knew that the Hack would try to gain Flint as much as possible because Flint has no escape ability whatsoever. So what Bdiz did was just walking down there and waiting for the Hack to pop up, I believe. And then Hack came and probably blinked in. And when the Hack blinks in, she is just open to combos. And probably that was the case, right, Bdiz?
You're actually wrong. That was after Fog resurrected and he was walking down bottom to farm. I just picked off Sebuska and was kind of low, so I was found to regen. We both got down there at the same time while Hag was farming, and I just landed a weed field, and that's all it took to take out Hag, who we really wanted to get a kill on at that point in the game because he was 6-0.
Yeah, of course. Okay, interesting.
Well, speaking a little bit about Haig, I mean, 6-1 now after that death, but right now tied for top leader here. Going down up top, Cardinal's going to be getting comboed on. The Fish are going to come out. Wretched Egg not going to be brave and jumping in there. Going to be trying to fish that. I'm pretty sure you saw the homecoming stones coming out of both Angry Testy and yourself there, Bdiz. So he's going to back off back to the mid. Ooh, another pause. I'm actually not going to be too worried about this one. But right now, I mean, level 12 is the top level of the game. Fogged on Flint Beastwood is sharing that honor with Chu on Wretched Hag. Oh, this auto skip feature is amazing. But yeah, so right now 12s. We do have the lowest level in the game is 7 on that Andromeda, probably because, you know, warding, roaming, stacking. I do see that we have this camp here stacked. Actually, we have quite a few camps now stacked. So she's doing quite the support job right there, isn't she, Nova?
Sorry, this script is not working for me, so I'm just scrolling manually forward.
We'll just take a quick pause here, folks. Just hit the pause button.
Yeah, you don't need to pause. Just tell me to sync up.
I'm at 30:15 for the replay time. 30:15. Okay, good.
Yep.
Good.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, play. Okay, good.
Yep.
Yeah. So if you want there, Nova, just take a quick second. See if you can open your console, get the auto skip working. But yeah, right now, I mean, Fogged just takes the lead here, 13 with Chu. As for creep kills, Fogged is a little bit ahead, but the difference is Fogged only has 4 kills, whereas Chu has 6. So the gold per... What was that? The Miss Pudding pack?
Yeah, that was
Yes.
it.
Oh, okay. Great deny. Thanks, Angry Testy. Startled the heck out of me there. Never heard Miss Pudding Pack before. But yeah, 87 creep kills here on Fogged, 86 on Chu. Does look like Behemoth is going to get swapped in the mid. Going to get off a Fisher, run into the forest. He's going to try to teleport out of that. Not going to be happening. The Bubble's ultimate going down. But look at the damage going down on Andromeda. She goes down as the revenge kill. But Sandwraith has popped his illusions. Where did he end up? He didn't end up anywhere. He's still down south on the bottom. Was that a 1-for-1 exchange, I believe, Bdiz?
Yeah, they came from a place where we didn't have vision. We were able to stun swap our Behemoth to get a kill on him, but he was able to get a fissure. I got a weed field and magic harp, and Fog to finish him off with a money shot to cross kill and get Andromeda as well.
Yeah, I mean, the superior range right now of Flint Beastwood definitely made short work there of the Andromeda, and whoever's typing, you know, take it easy, man. It's just a keyboard. So yeah, right now we do have a 13-12 lead right now for SK. I mean, the experience is very negligible at this point. We're 1,000 difference. Actually, SK is behind 1,000. Now with the tower, though, we're up to 3,000 gold. As your lead, and you know, 20 minutes in, I think it's time we discuss a little bit of the items. So, Bdiz, would you like to take care of SK for us?
Trough-Mador on Forsaken Archer is very close to finishing his BKB, only the ring of the teacher for pushing. Fogged on Flint Beastwood picked up a Firebrand, and he's working towards his BKB, picking up a Mighty Blade already. Angry Tessie on Chipper had a pretty terrible start, and all he has is a point booster, phase boots, and a bottle right now. Cardinal on Behemoth has Striders and a Chalice, and I'm doing my thing on Myrmidon, being the ward bitch, having, you know, wards.
Well, wards are good. I mean, map control in this game is very, very important. As well, you guys obviously know that. But I mean, yeah, I mean, somebody has to buy the wards, so why not? So, Mimrodon, you're going more of a support build this round. I mean, just as soon as you can land that weed field and a magic carp, it's almost GG for anyone you have in your sights, right?
It's a really powerful early mid-game combo, which is essentially why we went with that hero this time. So, yeah, any of the squishy heroes that I land that combo on are pretty much dead.
I do notice a little bit of a weed field spam going out as you found those two in the forest. This is your ward of sight here, and that's Yoda's ward of sight there. And you do have another ward of sight in the lane right up by the tower. Is that to see when you do have those homecoming stones coming in?
Yeah, Cardinal actually misplaced that ward, and it doesn't quite show completely behind the tower.
Mm-hmm.
But the other one is just to get vision because we knew where they were going to try to wrap around behind us.
And you do have a ward of revelation in the mid. What was that to counter?
I actually countered Yoda's lane ward mid with that counter ward.
Oh, okay. Cool beans.
That was right before we actually pushed down the mid tower and after they picked off our behemoth.
Yeah, the Behemoth Andromeda exchange, right? Quite correct, yeah. So right now, you guys are ahead in kills, 1 kill, but the tower counts, they're actually the same right now, whereas you have 2 denies and 2 kills, whereas we don't have any denies on EG. That's but I do notice the experience and gold leads are actually like getting worse for you guys as this game is going on. Is there just too much roaming going around right now?
Basically, we know that we're going to have a really hard time killing their Sandwraith when he's stopped farming the lane at the tower, with their team supporting their massive AoEs, with Wretched Hag and Bubbles controlling the mid-game phase. So we were trying to decide whether or not we should push or just try to out-farm and out-carry him late game, because as scary as the Sandwraith is, we did feel that we had decent enough carries to out-carry him late game.
Mm-hmm.
We just couldn't make a decision and didn't really do much of anything with our time. We mismanaged this part of the game really poorly.
That kind of sucks. A little bit. We do have a question here from IRC. What do you guys think of the ward changes? I mean, I think the wards are 1 at a time now, correct? Nova?
Yeah, correct. It's pretty great actually, since we have a swap here on the Forsaken Archer who pops instantly Shrunken Head, turns around, Andromeda drops for instance, but Flint is also very low, catching Bubbles ultimate, and we have a Behemoth going down. Does he pop ultimate before? Yes, he did. He goes down regardless, and now FA has no Shrunken anymore and goes down as well. A little more exchange, Bubbles will go down to mostly Shipper, but he has a Cursed Ground on himself, and the Wretched Hag just blinks in. I believe, no, he has a power supply, so Myrmidon needs to get another, yes, there we go, Wretched Hag follows up, and that's a genocide and a 5-for-2 exchange, and that's pretty sad for SK at this point, because that's the least thing you want when you have a Sandwraith who's going straight for Morg now. And as for the wards, it's very good for us supporters, because we have so few gold, and before we always had to buy them in 200 stakes, whereas now we can mix in way more wards of revelation at times, because we don't have to, if we would want to buy wards of revelation, wards of sight in earlier patches, we'd have to wait for 400 gold, whereas now, let's say I already have the top room covered and I want a lane ward at the bottom tower, and I can just buy 1 ward now and have another 100 gold, which would be spent before for wards of sight, to spend it on Ward of Revelation and see if they have a lane ward there. And also, due to this 1 stack now instead of 2, they get off of cooldown quicker. So you can fill in gaps you had before, and you don't need to keep wards in your inventory, to respond to that question.
So you like it. That's what I got out of that.
Definitely.
Yeah. So down in the south, down in the mid, Fogged picking up a kill there on Dodo. A little bit of revenge after that genocide. So, yeah, that was not the best fight for SK. They really hit you where you had no tower support at all. It does look like I mean, Sandwraith was virtually untouched in that fight, as I did notice he chased down Myrmidon with the help of Wretched Hag. But that puts us now to 16-17 score, 17 now for Evil Geniuses, and Experience of Gold has now definitely both shifted into the Hellborn's command. We went a little bit over about the items on the Legion, but what do we got for items here on the Hellborn, Nova?
Oh yeah, Sandwraith has Mock now, 26 minutes in, and the Vanguard, so this is the point where you can say, do we want to GG now, or do we try and do something about this? She's also 3-0, so it looks very grim for SK at this point. Then we have a Bubbles, who went for the Portal Key. There are the various builds you can go on Bubbles. Portal Key is definitely a very viable one. Voodoo Jester will go for the Shrunken Head because he's secondary support and doesn't need to buy so many wards whatsoever. And then we have an Andromeda, who has just the very few core items, mainly the Striders and the Mana Battery, and is doing the main warding, at least buying the wards, I believe, all the time. And then we have a Wretched Hag, who went straight for Hex. The pause, oh, it actually works. And I have to note one thing, because when I watched the stream, that was pretty annoying for me. Whenever they paused, in the later pauses, they would make a go right after the pause and kill one of SK's heroes. And later, SK would even make jokes about that, and it still happened. So, I don't know. It was a bit shady, in my opinion.
Then Fog even made a point of that in one of the later games, which we'll probably get to and go over.
Made a point of what?
How they would, after every pause, including that one that just happened, they would go and kill someone immediately as it ended.
Oh, I thought we were talking about how SK just lost Angry Testy right after a pause. Oh, okay, so
yeah.
it's the other way around later on in the game.
In the entire series, it was a reoccurring theme.
That's kind of funny. Wretched Hag getting out by the skin of her teeth thanks to this Andromeda swap, and Yoda going to be going down there as a sacrifice. Shrunken Head on Flint Beastwood already. Impressive work. He pops that, and Sandwraith, I mean, sure, fine. Mock in a Helm of the Black Legion. He still goes down. No problem here. And now Wretched Hag, she came back for some reason. I do see the Magikarp, but I don't see a dead Hag, whereas I do see a dead Bdiz. So 3-for-3 exchange after that. I kind of thought you guys were about to get a genocide there, but does not seem to look like even a little bit more damage going down on Voodoo Jester. He had the tower support there. New items were being popped out. What do you think of that fight there, Bdiz? Like, did that go according to plan, or a little bit of a screw up there? I noticed that the Wretched Hag didn't die.
Yeah, Wretched Hag lived. That was a really good swap by Yoda to barely get Hag out of there with his life. And Chu, being the amazing Hag player he is, lined up a really, really good ultimate on us. I think it hit at least 3 heroes, maybe even more, and that turned the tides of the fight. Even though we did get the important kill on Sandwraith, that we still lost that fight really badly.
Yeah, it is a very important kill to go on that Sandwraith. He is a little bit of a monster right now, 3-1-10, simply because he just died right now. He's actually still dead. Level 16, he's really come up. I mean, he was in that tri-lane, but we did have a lot of roaming from that Andromeda, and he did get a lot of farm going. He's up to 137 creep kills now. He's actually surpassed Tralfamador on Forsaken Archer. She's at 121. If you recall a little bit earlier, we were saying, oh, Tralfamador has double what B-Kid has. It's not quite the same anymore. So it just goes to show you the power of a Mock and a Helm of the Black Legion. So, I mean, yeah, important kill on him. Would have been nice if Chu went down with it. Just doesn't seem to be happening, and now just destroying these creeps. So, I mean, at this point, 30 minutes into the game, you guys are a little bit behind. I mean, 9,000 experience, 5,000 gold, all that can be rectified with a great team fight on your end. But did you guys shift more to a defensive mindset, or still going for more of the offensive mindset at this point?
I think that was the third major team fight of the game. After the second one, which we lost, we were already in a defensive mindset, because that second one is the one that gave Sandwraith his Mock of Brilliance. He already had a relic, or I'm not even sure what it's called. 1 second.
He had a relic.
Sword of the High. Yeah, he had a Sword of the High before the second team fight, and after that team fight, he had Mock of Brilliance. So we were already in a defensive position, and losing that one just furthered it, and we knew our only chance to win would be turtling and through EG making mistakes.
All right, fair enough. I did notice Chu got, well, gangbanged right there by 3 heroes. Did you see what happened there, Nova?
Yeah, he popped illusions. That was quite a funny part because Behemoth would have probably, or will have probably thanked him for that, since it deals more damage on his ultimate. Basically, it looked like you were waiting for Chu to farm too deep into the lane, and that's what he did, and then they just jumped on him. Did you expect that to happen, or did you just happen to be there at that point?
That was planned. We knew how aggressive he is and how he likes to maximize his farm, and just he goes, we kill him, and we were just waiting for it, and he did go, so we got the kill.
Yeah, the timing was absolutely perfect because they didn't know that Behemoth has a portal key right now. Behemoth just got it in the woods and they have no wards there, so they wouldn't see that this happens. And without a portal key on Behemoth, it is way harder to kill the hag because the stun of Myrmidon, the magic card, can be avoided. And other than that, they don't really have targetable stuns long range that can hit other than the Fissure, and it can be hard to follow up on the Fissure unless it's a really surprising one and Behemoth can line up and get in with an ultimate. So it was just perfect with the portal key there and catching the wretched hag who farmed too aggressively into the lane.
I'm just taking a quick look here at Fogged on Beastwood. 932 is his score, 510 experience a minute. No, not quite 400 gold a minute, but he's really up there. I think right now he is top farm of the game, and I've been kind of real impressed. He already, I mean, he had that Shrunken Head last team fight. Since then, he's picked up himself up a Frostburn and now a Blessed Orb to go with that. He's becoming quite the decent tanking DPS character right now, isn't he, Bdiz?
Yeah, he went for Frostburn first because he was planning on going Frost of Skull plus Geometer's Bane, being that he wanted to be able to kite the Sandwraith around instead of just, dying to him and going a Geometer's Bane lifesteal route. So he went with Frostburn first, then I believe he goes Scotty before getting Geometer's Bane when he goes to split his Frostburn.
Yeah, I mean, it is more of a typical setup these days. I mean, the typical ranged agility carry is, of course, get the Frostburn, split it out. But he did go for that Shrunken Head first, a bit more of a defensible option. It's working for him right now, though. 930, just looking at SK as a general here, 6'5", 9'3", 5'4", and then both Angry Testy and Cardinal, 0 kills each. Now, that's a little unusual, especially for a chipper.
Chipper got dominated at start because of Andromeda, and ever since he was actually at some very early point of the laning stage he had twice as many crit kills as Chu because he was last hitting very well. They evened up a bit, and then it happened to be that the Andromeda killed him, and ever since it snowballed for him. Didn't have too much of an impact in team fights. He has 5 assists, but that is it. So basically he took part in 5 of 20 kills and died 5 times. That's like he has no impact on the game whatsoever. Not saying that he played terrible, but he had a terrible laning phase ever since the Andromeda.
Yeah, he did not exactly win that mid, did he? But now, good points brought up there by Nova. Just as a quick recap, just looking around here for some new items. We do have a Shrunken Head now on Forsaken Archer, so that's 2 Shrunken Heads for SK. It does look like there's a little bit of a push gathering here in this bottom lane from EG. It does look like they want that tower. The ping goes down. I can only assume the Homecoming Stones are going to come in. I wonder if this portal key on Behemoth is going to make a big impact in this fight. I can only hope so. You used to only have Treads there, Bdiz, but as you said, you were doing a lot of warding and you're going more of that support role. Focus Buffer is on this Forsaken Archer in preparation. Does look like EG is going to back off at least until the next creep wave.
Nope, initiation will happen now, I remember.
Okay, well, who's it going to be?
Oh, you will see.
Okay, fine. We do have, 2 heroes in lane, 1 up in the jungle, 1 almost behind that sneaky Bubbles. But look at the Sandwraith. Holy wow, he just does that initiation right into this tower. Bubbles ultimate going down. Crippling Volley is going to help take out that Andromeda, so she's down for the count. Barbed Armor on a Sandwraith. What a great pickup on him. He's just so tanky right now, but it does not look like He's going to go down at all. Hat trick coming out for Chu, and looks like he's going to try to extend this into a quad on Fog. Not quite going to get it, but does look like Voodoo Jester, I think, picked that up with his ultimate there. So 4 for 2 exchange. SK not coming out in the clear of that one. Does look like Forsaken Archer is going to sit back a little bit. Probably going to be losing this tower with this creep wave and 3 heroes still up. But wow, look at that Sandwraith Nova. He just tanks so much of that damage.
It wasn't the Sandwraith though that won the team fight. What actually happened now, 2 team fights in a row, was that the Hag was very low and almost got killed. And if Hag would have got killed, you see they have no level 1 tower in the bottom lane. It means she can't rebuy, for instance, and then just TP there. And then it would be a 5-on-4, and Voodoo Jester would have got taken out as well, which didn't happen. So the follow-up would have been a little bit more synchronized, and Hag would have died in Voodoo Jester in those 2 team fights. I believe, I'm not sure if SK could have won, but at least they could have won the team fights. But it's not exactly SK's fault, because Behemoth jumped at max length, so it was pretty hard to follow up just in time. What do you think, Bdiz?
At the same time, when I saw Bubbles creeping behind our tower and Tessie threw the rocket at him, I backed up in fear of Bubbles initiating on us and getting a good kelp field, hitting lots of heroes. I don't want to get caught in that too. I want to stay spread out, so I backed up, and I wasn't able to use my waveform to get in range to land a kelp field to follow up, or wheat field rather, to follow up on Behemoth's ultimate and Fissure. And if I was in range, we would have been able to kill both Voodoo Jester and Wretched Hag in Tessie's ultimate, which came out just after they both BKB'd.
Yeah, exactly. It's actually a pretty good ultimate. It would have hit both of them and would have killed them if the BKBs wouldn't have fought in time. And Hag actually died exactly in the same manner as she died on the top lane before, farming too aggressively past the river and just taken out by Behemoth. This time though, he knew that Behemoth had the ultimate, so, and the portal key, so yeah.
Yeah, I did notice. Yeah, go.
On top of that, I just want to make a quick note that Chu died in the team fight when he tower dove. He died to the tower, so he just fought back and died again. So we knew that he was down for like about another minute here without having another buyback. So it's a huge mistake that we were looking to capitalize on.
Yeah. Okay. I did notice that Chu, you guys threw a lot of damage at that Chu in the mid. Like, I think it was almost like taking a nuke to a cockroach. I mean, there were so many spells because there's 4 of you right there. He just went down, no problem. But I did not notice the buyback, so good eye there, Bdiz. Right now, we are sitting 26-23 in favor of Evil Geniuses. The experience and the gold clearly in their favor, and now with a token from Kongor, Santa Kongor even. I wonder when they're going to change that, but. Anyway, token to life here on Sandwraith. That's just going to make him doubly hard to kill, so to speak. And right now, it's not looking too good for SK right now. You finally took that top tower, but I mean, right now you are again down in the tower, 7-6, and this mid of yours is just not doing so well. So what goes through your minds, in this kind of situation, Bdiz?
Well, as you can see with the wards I just placed, we knew we had to do something. We had to get a major pick-off and get another tower and just keep doing that to get back in the game, because at this point, unless we make something happen, we're going to lose this game. They're going to out-farm us and out-carry us. We had to make something happen. So I planted 2 aggressive wards in their jungle, and that's what we were looking to do from this point forward.
Ooh, auto-skip pauses. Lovely. So that is what you guys are planning to do, and hopefully it works out for you. We'll see. I mean, kill-wise, it's very close, but experience and gold-wise, it tells quite a different tale at this point. So after all that fighting, I mean, we did have that token of life picked up. We have a sheep stick and a portal key on the Bubbles. Did he have either of those during the last team fight? I didn't notice either of those.
He's had the portal key, but he just picked up the sheep stick.
Yeah, he had the portal key before.
Fair enough. Wretched Hag, he has himself a Kadras Sheepstick as well. It's quite hilarious looking at all these farmed items and then looking at Andromeda. But I mean, to be fair, I mean she is playing the support role quite well. We do have a Tablet of Command and a Shrunken Head now finished up on Voodoo Jester. So Voodoo Jester really wants to get the power of his ultimate there into these team fights. Pop that with a Shrunken Head, and I think only Flint could interrupt him if it came down to it with his physical stun. But am I wrong about that, Bdiz?
You are absolutely correct. As I think Behemoth's ultimate only does the damage. However, the stun comes from heavyweight, and that does not go through BKB. So yeah, it would only be Flint's passive hollow point shells that would break Voodoo's ultimate.
I do notice that Sandwraith, he popped his illusions there. Kind of chased everyone back into your base as they took this mid tower. So strategic player. Did he think that? Did you guys think you were being initiated upon?
If you actually look, I have a Ward of Sight placed. We saw bubbles. I tried to land a kelp field on him, or weed field rather. I don't know why I keep calling it kelp field. But Sebuska was too fast to react with a take cover, and we didn't actually get him. Sandwraith reacted to that by ulting and forcing us back and giving them the tower kill.
Fair enough. Yeah, I do notice you guys have a little bit of a trifecta of wards going on down here just a little bit left to your jungle, as well as you do have those wards of sight up in their jungle as well. So, I mean, all these wards of sight, it's just, I mean, are you guys able to capitalize? I do see Wretched Hag up here. Well, you guys obviously saw Wretched Hag up there, but she's a very hard character to gank, so I don't know. I see you guys all rushing up, but I'm not sure that's, I mean, like, you have all this vision, but oh wow, you're gonna go for it anyways. Wretched Hag getting just, wow, she did not go down that much at all. It now looks like after so much damage going down on her and negated, oh, this is not looking good for you guys at all. I do see Chu bringing out the hurt 2 down now for SK. A Sheepstick going down on Fogged here. Flint Beastwood, but he's actually pretty tanky now. He has himself a Frostwolf Skull, and he just took a little bit longer to die. Wow, you're the only one alive right now. 4 deaths. All you got out of it was an Andromeda, which at this point is almost a throwaway. 1,000 hit points on Andromeda. It's very, very easy to take down. This is, I can't really say this is going to be good for your towers, is it, Bdiz?
No, we basically overextended there going for a kill on Chu. We knew we had BKB and we knew we would have to stun lock him to be able to take him down, and we just didn't do it. And we just completely overcommitted to a fight, and they capitalized on it.
Yeah, that's kind of the impression I get. What do you think, Nova?
The problem is that they couldn't use the Behemoth ulti anymore on Wretched Hag only because they needed it totally in a team fight on more heroes than only Hag. And it helped before. Now Behemoth is going in with a beautiful, beautiful, amazing ulti, and 2 heroes instantly drop from it. Hag maxed out Shrunken Head, but I doubt that Sandwraith will go out of there. She loses the token here. Yes, she loses the token. Bdiz goes in. Now they can deal damage a bit, but the swap is coming out, and although there's a Flint ultimate and another Fissure, only Andromeda will drop. Sandwraith actually turns around. Hey, can I get a kill or 2 here? And Chipper gets hacked by Wretched Hag, who was just waiting there for Chipper or anyone else to leave the base. And Sandwraith didn't die, lost the token. But I have to say, the Behemoth ultimate was just amazing there. There was a really good one. They have another Flint ulti going on Sandwraith, kind of just exchanging damage between each other. Did FA? Yeah, FA didn't die, so she just ragged up and potted back in to not lose the rags there.
That was a hat trick for B-Kid. I mean, yeah, he did die. He did lose the token. No more self-revival for him, but wow, does he do a lot of damage. I did notice after the Sheepstick went down on Angry Testy that he had a Sandwraith illusion popping onto him, and it just does so much damage. He doesn't even have a no fire blade yet, but wow, I mean, Frostwolf Skull, you're not going to be getting away from a Sandwraith, especially with the Desert's Curse. I did kind of like how Bdiz, you jumped around him using your charge, only to get smacked in the face. But yeah, that was he's quite the character right now, isn't he?
Yeah, basically when I went in there, I knew I would die, but trading myself for an Aegis, I think that was a good trade to just ensure 110% that he was going to lose that Aegis, because we did not want him to still have that at all. We needed to get rid of it. but after that, you know, when he popped his ultimate with the Frostwolf Skull, he was able to get the kill on myself, Testy, and also Cardinal, who wasn't even at the fight. He was running to the base, going to regen. He just died to the illusion.
Yeah, well, Sandwraith illusions, level 3 illusions with enough items. I mean, they're very deadly things to squishy heroes as well. I did notice you guys tried to go in on the bubbles here in the mid, but he's showing off his, take cover, then to a shell surf, just negated everything you threw at him, which is kind of why I suspected he would have beat Flint down south in the beginning. But yeah, that kind of didn't happen, did it? So we do have, 5 heroes now in your base. You guys are kind of confined here. I mean, your ward situation has dwindled a little bit. You got a little bit of a revelation down south. You have a ward of sight here up north on the rune spawn. Can that see the rune? Yeah, that can see the rune. Good. But right now, you guys feel a little caged in?
Yeah, at this point, the only chance that we have, and it's a very slim one if you look at the experiencing gold lead, is for them to somehow dive our base and even dive the fountain for us to come back into this game with a huge lead that they've gotten. Even though we don't have any of our barracks down, they still just completely out-farmed us and took advantage of our mistakes. And as you can see by item pickups, their Sandwraith has just picked up a Behemoth's Heart, and the Wretched Hag just picked up a Demonic Breastplate, so we can't really get aggressive anymore. We have to play defensive and hope they make a big mistake.
Yeah, I don't know. At this point, a big mistake would have to, bring up 20,000 experience and 16,000 gold to you guys. I don't even think combined a genocide would do that for you. I do see Santa Kongor. He's back in town. He's bringing his bag of gifts, and that's probably going to go to another spot here on Sandwraith. Or maybe not. I don't know. Looking at Sandwraith's old inventory, he had picked himself up a Behemoth's Heart. He's not going to take that token of life. Who picked up that token of life?
Hag, of course.
Okay, Chu on the Wretched Hag, who has himself a Demonic Breastplate. Oh dear. That's a good amount of armor as well as attack speed. He's just going to be, laying down the hurt here. Is this going to be the final push? I have to wonder. We have no mid tower up. We do have a very brave Myrmidon who might have overextended a little bit there. I do see 2 wards of Revelation going down. There's no Invis hero here, is there? Or is that just to tell the Sandwraith ultimate apart? But yeah, is that just to tell Sandwraith apart?
No, that's to clear out any wards of sight in our base to make sure that they don't try to sneak in. And Chu actually got aggressive with an Invis rune, so I placed another one. And we tried to pick him up, but he quickly got out of there.
Yeah, the mobility of a Wretched Hag is something to be feared. Level 25 B-Kid, he's down south. We do have level 25 Chu in the mid. He's trying to force you guys to split your attention. Does not look like he seemed to care much for the Sandwraith. He's going to destroy this bottom tower. Out comes the ultimate, though. And, Angry Tessie going to be taking down Yoda. But it does look like Chu is going to be laying down the hurt on Myrmidon. Out comes ultimates. Flint just going down. Unfortunate for him. So much tankiness just not going to be enough. 3 kills to 1. And right now, there's only the 2 of you to defend against 4, and that is going to be 2 Raxes down in the mid as well as 2 more down south. That's 2 lanes down with super creeps, or a little bit of beefy creeps as I like to call them. It does look like you did get that token of life there on the Wretched Hag, so good stuff on that, but now she's just coming back. She's going to harass this Forsaken Archer in the lane. In the fountain. Look at the tankiness of Wretched Hag. Just really want to kill you there in the tower. It does look like Bubbles. He's going to get out of that, no problem. GG, well played coming out. Game number 1, ladies and gentlemen, the GosuGamers Losers Bracket Finals between SK and EG is now complete. It does look like Evil Genius is taking the first game. So, Bdiz, final thoughts on this game, dude?
Like I said, during the drafting phase, we did screw up a bit and had some miscommunications about what we wanted to pick. But overall, EG just superb play, capitalizing on our mistakes, and they really just gave it to us this game.
And Nova, what do you think of everything here?
Now that I have the inside information, I would agree on drafting. I think that SK played well in the very first stage of the game, up until the first team fights occurred. In the team fights, the Hag already had a hero kill lead and just yeah, raped and ripped them apart. So EG had a better synergy and better communication here. So that pretty much just turned out as usual Sandrift Get Smoke and GG game.
All right, so that will be the first game here, ladies and gentlemen. Those of you following us here on the live stream, we're just going to take a quick 5-10 minute break. Get some water, some food, reorganize for game number 2. I'll be around in the IRC, and we'll be letting you know when we go live in just a few moments. Thank you again, Bdiz and Nova, for joining me here. Game number 1. SE from Game Replays, he is doing the streaming, so make sure you thank him as well. Otherwise, you'd be seeing none of this. And we will see you guys now in game number 2.